In this video, we're going to be going over some new settings here in Battlefield 6 Season 1. They're going to make it feel like you have aimbot with a controller. If you are drastically trying to improve your aim, accuracy, as well as gun skill, you came to the right place. So as you can see, I play with an Xbox Elite controller on PC with one paddle, the short paddle, set up for jumping. These settings are going to work no matter what controller you're playing with, and also no matter what console you're playing on, even PC with a controller like myself. For my button preset, I recommend playing on alternate. If you don't like alternate, these settings are also going to work, no problem. But alternate is going to remap your crouch and prone button so you can get down behind cover, drop to a prone position without actually having to move your thumb, and you can still stay aimed down sight and be accurate while doing so if need be. This is incredibly effective if you are trying to put yourself in the best possible positions and allowing yourself to be a little bit more deadly at closer ranges. But again, you don't actually have to play on that preset if you don't like it. If you don't have enough time to play and need weapon or rank leveling assistance, Criminal Mods has you covered. They offer legit, fast, and cheap services like leveling up your weapons, vehicles, and completing hard challenges in game. If that interests you, you can use my code EARS to save 5% off at checkout. For the infantry controller settings, this is where you want to go ahead and make some adjustments. Infantry aim sensitivity, I recommend playing within that 40 to 45 sensitivity window with these specific aim assist curves. This is going to give you enough sensitivity to turn on other players, but it's also not going to be overpowering that you're going to be missing shots at those longer ranges, because that's where I feel a lot of Battlefield players are falling short. Medium as well as longer ranges. I know it's incredibly frustrating to feel like you're shooting 50, 100 rounds at somebody, you're getting nothing but hit markers or no hit markers at all, and once they see you, you die instantly, it feels like. These settings are going to help correct that and prevent that from happening to you. Now, for the next setting, we have this turned off. Field of view, we are going to be running 115. I recommend it playing on 120. You still can, but 115 is going to give you a little bit more control over your game. It's not going to be as wide as 120, but at the same time, I feel like you're not really even going to notice it. I didn't notice it, but this is a setting that you can change, and if you don't like 115 and you prefer to play on 120, feel free to go back to 120. These settings are still going to work with that FOV. Vertical aim ratio is going to be at 50. The zoom ratio is going to be at 75. You must turn off uniform infantry aiming. This is going to mess everything up if you leave this on. This setting you have to shut off, and it's very important to do so if you're trying to improve your aim, accuracy, as well as gun skill at those longer ranges. For infantry aim assist, you want to have this at 100% so you can fully take advantage of the aim assist with controller, whether you're playing on console or PC. The slowdown, I like to have this at 100. If you don't like the slowdown at 100 and you feel like it's kind of overpowering, especially if there's more than one person on the screen, you can back this down to 75, but I would go ahead and play within that window. Try 100. If you feel like it's overpowering, drop it to 75 and you can make adjustments in there. This is going to be a personal preference setting within that range. I just like mine at 100. Now, for your infantry aim input curve, I do recommend playing on Battlefield 3. This curve is going to be perfect with these specific settings, allowing you to transition from target to target to target and be accurate at those medium and longer ranges, and obviously dominate players at close range. But again, medium and long range where people are going to be falling short. For your infantry zoom, I do recommend playing on Battlefield 3 as well. This is going to allow you to be a lot more accurate at extreme long ranges, especially if you're running optics that have zooms. So definitely keep that in mind here in Battlefield 6. I know a lot of us like to rock optics that have some type of magnification, so I recommend getting used to Battlefield 3. It feels amazing. Now, for your stick input acceleration preset, I switched this to Battlefield 1. This is gonna feel really, really nice, especially when you go ahead and make this adjustment here. You're aiming left/right acceleration. You want to bump this down to 30. This is overall going to smooth out how your player is going to be using their weapon at medium and longer ranges, and you can track enemies a lot easier, and you can have freedom to transition from target to target to target a lot easier if you are a more run and gun player, or you find yourself running into more than one person at the same time. Very important you guys go ahead and copy down these settings, especially these infantry aim input curve settings and the acceleration, so you can make sure that you can match everything up properly so you can outgun players at those medium to longer ranges easier. I'm going to be showcasing a tutorial in the firing range in this video as well, so you guys can see how everything is going to be playing in tandem. Now, what you also want to do here is you want to go down to the zooms, because there are some settings you want to adjust under zoom, just so you make sure that everything is going to be uniform with whatever optic you are running. Now, you guys can see here, I have the transition smoothing. This is going to be turned off. And for your 1.0 all the way to 4.5x, I have it bumped down from 100 to 80. This is so it's going to be a little bit easier to go ahead and track players at those closer ranges and even longer ranges when you're not running an optic that doesn't have a really high magnification. You know, your standard red dots, maybe the holographics that have 1.25 or 1.75. These are going to be the settings you want to go ahead and use, so things are not getting out of control. Now, when you have the 5.0 up to 10, I went ahead and bumped this up a little bit more, just so you can flick for sniping more than one person. You don't want to essentially be stuck in the mud, stuck in the scope with those slower sensitivity settings. Overall, something you should definitely keep in mind. Again, I'm going to go ahead and showcase in the firing range with some popular optics, how this is actually going to feel, so you get a feel for visually how this is going to look when you actually switch out your settings here in Battlefield 6. Everything else here is going to be the same. I've not messed with any of the gyro settings because I don't have a gyro controller, so it's just going to be turned off. But what you also want to do under your settings, which is going to be very, very, very important, you want to go all the way down here and you want to adjust your controller tuning. This is going to be very important here. Now, I recommend going ahead and having vibration turned off. I personally don't like vibration. It's going to be essentially shaking your controller, and you don't want to have any type of play in your controller that could potentially throw off your aim and accuracy at longer ranges. That's exactly why I have vibration shut off. You can turn it back on if you like, but in all reality, this could be a personal preference setting. You might like it or you might hate it. And here are my dead zone settings. Dead zone settings are going to be honestly personal preference depending on your own controller health. Some controllers are going to have more stick drift than others, so if you want to copy mine, you can, but again, you're going to have to literally fine-tune your dead zone setting. The way you can do that is go in the firing range, put your controller down on your table or whatever you can set it down at, and if your player starts to drift up, to the left, to the right, down, you're going to have to go ahead and adjust your settings to compensate for that, to prevent that from happening, because that will throw off your aim and accuracy at those longer ranges. So in the firing range, this is what you can expect with these settings. As far as the movement, as you can see, 40 is actually really nice with this sensitivity curve. Plenty fast to go ahead and snap on the players. You guys can see once I start aiming down sight, the slowdown, it's going to be quite nice and easy to go ahead and transition from target to target and outgun players relatively easily at those medium to longer ranges. I always recommend going ahead and burst firing when you're trying to outgun players at extreme long range. I am going to go ahead and make a dedicated video on recoil control here in Battlefield 6, but I wanted to give you guys some adjusted controller settings before that so you can use them, get used to the mechanics, so when I do drop that recoil control video, you are going to be absolutely lasering players at those longer ranges. As you can see, it's going to be perfect transitioning from target to target to target. It's not going to feel like you're getting pulled too hard, not having any pull at all. These are overall some great controller settings to utilize if you're trying to take your gameplay to the next level. Again, this is going to be great controller settings you can run. I'm gonna go ahead and showcase what this is going to look like with a sniper rifle with a higher zoom optic. And as you can see with the sniper rifles, while you're zoomed, you're not going to feel like you're stuck in the mud. You can transition from target to target very, very easily. Go ahead and get those headshots and get those fast TTKs at those longer ranges. Bam. These are going to be some of the best controller settings to use here in Battlefield 6 Season 1. Now, if you do check out some of these settings and start tearing it up, come back to this video and let me know down in the comment section. And if you have some other settings adjustments that I did not mention in this video, feel free to go ahead and comment them in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed, feel free, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, especially if this video did help you out. Your boy Ears, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.